Good morning. My name's Kyle. I'm the Pentographer, and I'd like to thank you for spending some time again with me today. So today, I was going to start a new little series that I'm going to call Pens I Would Like to Buy. So, obviously, there are many of them. I have a pretty decent collection at the moment, and it is imminently going to get larger again, because I've kind of got back into buying pens. Now I'm sticking to the cheaper ones for now because I just genuinely shouldn't be buying very expensive pens at the moment. So I'm going to be skewed towards the cheap end for the time being. But of the pens I would like to buy, there are many expensive ones. And so I figured I would get started today with one of the gold nib pens that I had been looking at, ultimately decided against purchasing, not because I didn't want it all of a sudden, but because I just picked a different one. And that is the Pilot E95s. So I've made notes about this pen before. I haven't reviewed it or anything. I cannot review a pen I do not own and or do not have possession of. For that fact, I cannot review anything I do not have. So I would like to talk about the E95s, a couple of the features about it that have intrigued me, a couple of the things that I like the looks of about it, and a couple of the reasons that I want to buy it. So the first reason that I would like to buy the E95s is because it is literally the nicest looking pocket pen you can get. Now, I've done a video about pocket pens. I'll put a card up, but it is one of the nicest ones, or one of the nicest looking ones. It's got a really classy look to it. Both colors, comes in two colors. There's a black one with gold trim, and then there's, I believe it's like a brown one. I'm not sure, I can't remember. I think it's gold trim as well. Not as big a fan of the brown one, but it's got its own look, and it is nice. I just don't prefer it. I prefer the black one. So it's just got a really classy look to it that most pocket pens don't have. Pocket pens are very practical. They're very everyday carry. This wouldn't be a pen that you would want to everyday carry unless you had like a leather sleeve for it. And definitely not in a field like construction or landscaping or any of those things where particulates get everywhere, whether you know it or not, as is proof by my little Mahjong A1 in my pocket right now, losing a lot of its paint due to dirt getting inside the leather sleeve. So there are various reasons why you wouldn't want to be carrying an E95s all over the place. It's a nicer looking pen. It's an expensive pen because it's a gold nib. So that's the second reason. It's an inlaid gold nib. So the nib is built onto the body. It doesn't have a separate feed system or anything. It's built onto the body, and the feed system is kind of up inside that. So it just looks really neat. It kind of fairly resemblant of a falcon beak or something like that. You know, like a bird beak almost, which just gives it a really kind of slick look at the end. So that's the second reason why I'd like to get this pen. Third reason is, even though it's a pocket pen, and you wouldn't think it was a pocket pen to see it posted, because the lid is so long compared to the rest of the pen that it just kind of extends it right out. But then as soon as you cap it, you're just like, oh, that's a really short pen. It's really small. I think it takes the Con 40 converter, so I think it's got a small converter in it, which technically means that it would fit with all the Mahjong stuff that I've also done videos about. But yeah, it's kind of an interesting design. The design choices in it are very interesting, and so really that comes down to why I'd like to get it. Number one, it's a really nice pocket but desk pen, and it would be nice to have just kind of a nice pen that sits at my desk that I could pick it up and use it anytime. It's small,
And so I'm not worried about it drying out or wasting ink if it did dry out, because it's little. It's pretty small. And if you're sitting at your desk and you use that pen, then it doesn't matter if you're refilling it fairly consistently. It's not such a big deal. It just looks slick. It just looks nice, and it would be nice to have a nicer pocket pen like that. I also hear that it writes quite nicely. Most people I've seen that talk about it, that have it, really enjoy the writing experience, and so that is another reason why I'd like to buy it. It's like I'd like to try that writing experience. I only have writing experience with a few gold nibs. Surprise, like, yeah, the gold nib pens are expensive, and even when I was working at the mine, we didn't have the budget for me to drop several $100s on fountain pens all that often. And when I did have that kind of disposable income, I was more inclined to pick up 3 or 4 inks and a pen, or several pens and an ink, or several pens and another accessory, or something like that. So, like my pen rolls, or something like, like, I was more inclined to get more different things as opposed to just one very expensive thing, which is why my collection grew so quickly, because I got sort of mid-level steel nib pens that weren't as expensive, but I would get more of them. So that's kind of where all that kind of went down. But because as a result, I haven't experienced that many gold nibs, and so the E95s would be one that I would really like to try out. So that's kind of it for that. Reasons that I would not buy this pen, actually. As much as I like the idea of it being a pocket pen, as I said before, it actually wouldn't be a pocket pen I would carry around that much, because it is such a nice pen, and I don't have that much daily carry needs. I don't have as many as I used to. When I was working at the mine, I had to have a pen every morning. It was part of the job, so it was very natural to just have that. Now not so much. So having a nicer pocket pen actually isn't all that practical for me. So there's that. Small ink capacity of the Con 40. Assuming that's the one it takes. I'm pretty sure it is. It's too small for almost anything else. Small ink capacity. Not the biggest fan of that. I don't like having to refill my pens like constantly, and the Con 40 is pretty bad for that. Plus, I've struggled with the Con 40s. The only Con 40 clone that I haven't really struggled with was the Mahjong one. Jinhao's copy of that converter is not super great from what I hear. I have not tested that out yet. I actually just used the ink cartridges. But the ink capacity can be rectified with those ink cartridges fairly easily. But still, low ink capacity, not the best in the world. But that's really it. Those are really the only few reasons I might not get that pen. And that and the cost, I guess you can put that in there as just the cost. It's a lot of money to drop on a pen when you're struggling to make ends meet, as it is. And this YouTube channel will only grow so fast, and I can do everything in my power to make that growth happen quicker. I can do everything in my power to make better content. If life keeps getting in the way, which I would like it to stop, then I can do more. But until that happens, it's only going to grow so quickly, and so I can only do so much for that, in the hopes of getting this channel to a point where I can actually either get a hold of these pens or afford the pens, that sort of thing. Because I wouldn't mind it if brands sent me pens for reviews, but I'd have to be putting out halfway decent reviews, and I don't consider these types of reviews, the car vlog reviews, the best I can do. They're definitely not the best I can do. I know I can do better. So I'd like to improve before I even set my sights at that. So at any rate, I'm gonna call it there. This is the new series, pens I'd like to get, and we'll see how it goes. So if you like the video, like it. If you'd like to share it, send it to a friend or something, that'd be great. Subscribe, helps the channel grow, as I was just talking about. That would be amazing. I will see you guys in the next video, and as I always say, may your pen always be inked.